Well, it was year '99. I started 6th grade and I was in band. Then it rolled around to 2000, 7th grade, started playing guitar. And what got me into more of a drum field was that me and my friend were learning the same tune on guitar until he learned the last solo of it. And so 2001 is when I really picked up the drums and started practicing every day, working on my chops every day. So 2001 all the way until today, it's been serious drumming. Alright, I got started. Well, first in 6th grade I didn't have a drum set. I always wanted one, and Mom, Chad Smith said after so many months of practicing, I should be able to have a drum set now. You know, Chad Smith said it, Chili Pepper drummer. And so I used to have this couch that was set up, and I used to have my practice pad set up. My music stand was my cymbal, and then I'd kick the couch for the bass drum sound, and then I would use the sidebar for the tom feel, so I'd always be trying to practice something, like with this motion. Then eventually I got my first drum set in 8th grade, and from there I was excited, and I first started learning about double bass about a year after I got my drum set. A guy named Chris, he passed away at 19 years old from a heart attack. Just picked it up, and especially with the double bass. That's when I got Metallica and Megadeth and all those nice fast thrash bands and everything. So it was a gradual start for me. Learning easy patterns from Nirvana, easy patterns from Blink-182 and Green Day, and then just things got more complex on down to death metal. And then from there, I got opened up to jazz and Latin music and Latin patterns and everything else that goes with it, funk and shuffles and what funk really is, because I was doing this Oakland type of funk, doing all these backbeats and everything, and I got schooled in that. It's like, nope, it's pretty straightforward, pretty dead on. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while. My first inspiration was actually competition. In high school, all these marching drummers would come walking in with their sticks, their stick tricks, and all that greatness that they brought with them, especially since they've been seen on the field on Fridays and Saturday nights, whenever the games were. But I was a guy with long hair, still had my sticks on me too, and I carried a pillow in my backpack with a metronome. And so I'd see them, they'd see me practicing or vice versa, so of course we all bust out the sticks now. And what differentiated me from them was that they were doing this one pad thing with all these stick tricks, and I was like, okay. So I let them do their thing, and I started compiling up different books and sounds around me. And then when it came my turn, next thing you know, I'm like stomp all over again. Just ding 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 ding, bars on the desk. It didn't matter people's books. They liked it too. They'd lean back and let me just beat the shit out of their books. It was pretty cool. But inspiration. Honestly, my parents are a big inspiration for me, because they were there every time a cymbal broke, a head broke. They'd drive me 40 minutes to Guitar Center, 40 minutes back. I'm in Houston, so it was a pretty far distance. They kept me going, kept me motivated. There's times I thought about, not drumming for a while, but just my friends would come around and motivate me. And then I got in the military, and I didn't do the musician thing at all. I didn't even know about being an MU. I just thought, okay, I'm in the military now, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. But it was a blessing in disguise, because then I started picking up on reggae, started picking up on, like I said, funk, and then Frank Zappa was there in A school, but I didn't really know Frank until about 2 years ago, like just recently, pretty recently. Frank Zappa's been a huge inspiration on me, showing me that there's endless possibilities to do everything, and seeing what he did with musicians has continued to drive me in the direction that I want. And then as far as drummers go, I love the drum magazines. They got me opened up to everybody. Vinnie Colaiuta, Billy Cobham, Dave Weckl, Steve Gadd, even Tony Royster Jr. I remember seeing him when he was 7, and I was like, man, if that kid could do it. But Flo Manura was the one who opened me up to jazz. He's the drummer of Cryptopsy, one of those heavy metal bands that I like. outside music, inspirations come from even George Carlin, just his points of view in life and how, and just logic, So I take everything in and I try to apply it to my drums. So inspiration, it comes from various places, even fellow drummers who I see and enjoy playing with. So, and will continue to play with. Alright, past experiences will come from when I was on stage at 17 and, actually back that up to 16 because it was my first show I ever did. It was in a little bar, drums are cramped up. I didn't have the same 2 bass drums because I was borrowing one of the bass drums from the other guys. It was my first time playing on 2 bass drums. I was very excited. And at the end of the show, some really, it was like a Latin type of show too. It was weird, and we were like some thrash band, And this old guy comes up and he just shakes my hand. He's like, I've never seen drumming like that before. Wow, like, what was that? And I was just, that was me. That's all I could really say at the time. But it was the double bass that caught his attention in the way I used it. Another experience was a year later. I was 17, doing a metal show or a metal festival, and all the people bypassed the singer, the lead guitarist who worked so hard on their solos to have the wind blowing in their face while they do the little shred thing, But because I was just solid on the timing and the double bass and speed, and also have the long hair, that I'd do the whole whip around thing while I'm thrashing on some stuff. Everybody came up to me, bypassed them. That was pretty cool. Another time I was in Guitar Center, and about the same thing happened. I was just drumming, having fun. Other drummers came in, we were having fun, and then once again, it's just everybody just kind of looks at me and they just kind of focus on me and what I'm doing. And it feels good to be acknowledged by people just for doing what comes natural to me. So another experience that I enjoyed was writing a tune with my friend Mario for the 12th grade talent show. And then even at the 10th grade talent show I did a drum solo. And then when we back up to 8th grade talent show, I played drums and sang Smells Like Teen Spirit from Nirvana. The bass player, Brandon, he's a quiet guy. I was like, hey Brandon, you want to sing? He's like, Matt? He's like, I want to sing, man. He's a guitar player. I'll do it then, And so here I am, with a little 5-piece, with the mic as close as I can because I didn't have a boom stand. They just had one that I could lean over and sing while I was playing Smells Like Teen Spirit. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, a lot of fun. Plans for the future. It's been one hell of a ride so far, and I've learned a lot by taking this side road that brought me in the military. And I found music in the military. I found musicians. I found people who care about music like I do. And if I could do that in an institution, in a floating prison, so to speak, if I could find people who are so passionate about music, then when I get out in the real world, I'll be able to spot them like that. And then since I've been in the military, luckily I came to the CBN 77 when it was in 2007, and he said we weren't going anywhere until 2009. So got me a studio, got me some Berkeley education with that studio, started recording and producing bands, and then that's opened me up to a whole other side of music, because now I wear different hats when I listen to tunes. I could be wearing a drummer hat and thinking, man, I don't want to hear this right now. It's not my style, or whatever, we could all be judgmental in some form or fashion. But in the same instance, I could put on a producer hat now, or a mixing engineer hat, and I could hear so many different, the depth of the space of music. I hear music in a three-dimensional source, so to speak. It just doesn't come from 2 speakers for me anymore. It used to, but now I hear so much more in depth. And so my future for music is to find a job and make money doing whatever it is I need to do in music, whether it be a session drummer, a recording engineer, a producer, even working at a music shop, teaching drums, teaching guitar, teaching bass, or even just, being a road manager. Either way, I'm going to find music, and I'm going to make music work for me. I've done it so far in a floating prison, like I've said before. And if I could do it in the military, I'm definitely, if I could succeed in the military like I have, I'm definitely going to be able to go out there and let everybody know that music is everything. So, people I want to work with, Victor Wooten, the amazing bass player. Love his work. Steve Vai. I always think if Steve Vai and Victor Luger are in the same room, and I'm on the drums, that's just like a dream right there. It's gold for me. It might be far-fetched because they're already up there, they made it, but I don't care. I'm shooting up there and I'm aiming towards getting there. Let's see, so many other artists, Weasel Zappa, I'd like to have a session with them. They're just, as far as young talent goes, I mean, as you can see from my answers, I like to pay attention to my history, so I know where I've been, or where music has been, and I know where to take it. So, yeah, definitely Steve Vai, Victor Wooten, and Weasel Zappa. That's who I want. And then, of course, anybody else who would be interested in working with me. Yeah, I wouldn't turn anybody down as long as they knew what music is and how to have fun with it, and how to explore each other musically. Improv to me is just the window of a musician's soul. It's what comes out naturally. It's unexpected. And there's been multiple times I've had many of improv experiences that turned out great. For example, even at a church service where they needed a bass player on bass, the guitar player, I filled in the chords, filled it in just fine. Improv, as far as the drummer goes, just this past March, there's a guy who paid me for a demo, and he's like, well, I want you as a drummer. So I knew my position as a drummer, but I didn't really know the material. Well, we Craigslist a bass player because we had a show he had a show coming up. And so in comes walking in a bass player who brought in other guitarists with him. These guys have been playing music longer than I've been alive. And see, I had all the mics already set up, so they didn't see me do none of the work. I already had it started to record, and basically the whole thing was an improv session based off of what the original guy had already wrote. And that turned out to be his demo, and it came out great. Everything was on time, everything was solid, and everybody knew what they were doing. Just because it was a bunch of professional musicians, and it was relatively groove and easy material to do. Another improv session I'll never forget is Christmas Eve with my friend Dave. And I wish I would have got this on recording, but it was just, I've been improvising ever since me and my friend Jesus been doing it since we were in 7th grade, 8th grade. You know, we'd say, hey, we're going to start off heavy, we're going to chill it out, maybe something slow and ambient, we're going to pick it back up slowly, and we're going to end it off that way. That's all we had to say to each other, and we have a 5-minute track right there. Improv is by far one of my favorite things to do. And it surprises me how some musicians can't do it. But I mean, to me, that's just, like I said, it's a window. And so you can see the musician and what they're capable of doing. And even today, my friend Maurice surprised himself when he saw his double bass drum chops and, improve and everything. You just never know what improv can bring out of somebody. And I love to see improvement. I love to see everybody just having a great time and compliment each other. I remember the day Maurice Shea checked on board, and I was in the Ford Bomb Shop. It's a little area we hang out as aviation ordnancemen. And I see him come walking in, the seat bag was dropped down by the door. I see him just pat, and you could just spot another drummer. And since then, there's been times where, like I said, I'd focus on producing and recording more often than drumming, but then I'd always see him practicing. And so he taught me a couple of chops with the sticks that I always wondered what those marching drummers were doing. Now I know. And he also taught me, he made me want to learn the language again. Because every now and then, I drop the ball on language. 6 triplets, or 6 triplet rolls, or 6-stroke rolls, and flamadiddles, and patafla-flaws, and all that. I wanted to get inside the language again because I see him practicing all the time, and he was just sharp on the knowledge. And I definitely wanted to get back into it. So I'd go and take my rudiment book, and I'd start flipping through, when no one's looking, and just practice and practice. So it's basically, and then also just watching him play. He's just really smooth. He knows where he's going, even if it's improv. And so I've learned quite a bit, and I look forward to continue learning until the time comes. But everything has been great.